In this video, we'll take a look at the Classes function on StepsWeb. We should mention that classes in this context doesn't just mean a standard class in a school. It represents a group of students that you can manage all at once. The primary benefits of a class are having a quick summary of student progression, being able to assign work to the whole class, and being able to bulk set options on all students in a class. For future reference, a student can actually be in multiple classes at once. Even if you're a tutor with your own account and only have 5 students, it's still worth putting them into a class. We'll start by clicking on Manage Classes and select a class. Now there's a lot to look at, so we'll do things one stage at a time. First, we'll cover the summary information on this screen, and then we'll go through each section in detail. We can see that the class is called Year 3. The first section gives you information about accuracy and usage for any selected time frame. The low accuracy column contains any students that have been making more mistakes than expected and may need additional guidance. The low usage column contains students that haven't been using StepsWeb very much recently. We can change the selected time frame by clicking here. Next, we can see the Assigned Work section. This is where you can add and review all of the work that's been assigned to the class. Much like the assigned work for individual students, the bar will fill up with a green colour as the students complete their work. Then, at the bottom, there's a list of all the students in that class. It's worth being aware that you can click on any of these name buttons from this screen to see a brief summary of each student. This means that you don't necessarily have to go out of Manage Classes and into Manage Students each time you want to see what an individual learner has been doing. We'll now look at the diagnostic information about your students. First, we'll click on Class Progression. This screen shows you exactly where every student in this group is on the course. At the top of this screen, you'll see the levels listed. First is A through to F, which are the lower levels. Then there's 1 through to 6. The green line shows exactly what course position the student is now at. We can click on any of these boxes to see the detail. For example, this screen shows which unit our learner is currently on. We can also click on that box to see the detail. If we click here, we can see the detailed logs. The blue-grey boxes represent course levels which have been skipped. In other words, if we look at the student, this shows us that the learner did the placement test and was placed here. The purple represents what the student has done, and the light purple represents what the student has done in a selected time frame. We can click here to change the selected time frame. We can also click the Print button to print this page. Now we'll click this button to look at class accuracy. Now this screen shows us accuracy figures for 3 key areas: reading and spelling, comprehension and language, and finally phonic knowledge and skills. You're shown 2 percentages for each category. The first shows you the student's overall score for that aspect since starting on StepsWeb. The second column shows you their percentage accuracy for a selected time period. And you can change that time period by clicking here. Now there are a couple of things to be aware of. You'll see that some of these boxes have a red background. Now the red background appears when your student hasn't met your criteria for accuracy. We'll show you how to set that criteria in a later video. But this feature means that a class teacher will see at a glance which learners are struggling with each aspect. You can also click individual fields to see the background information. This shows you the scores which are incorporated into each aspect. If you want to see a student's complete logs, just click on their name. This field can also be printed and incorporated into your class records. Now we'll go back to the main Manage Classes screen. In the next video, we'll show you the editing functions you can access. So you've seen how to look at the students in a particular class, but there's also a way of seeing what classes a student is in through Manage Students. We'll take a look at Jason Anderson, who you've seen before. We'll just go into Manage Students and find him. Incidentally, there's a quick way of doing this. Rather than scrolling down the list, if you just click here, you can start typing his name and you'll see all of the names with those letters appearing. Even if we only type the first letter of his name, the program will automatically narrow down the list to names with J in them. So we're now looking at Jason's profile. If we scroll down this page, we'll see the Classes section. We can see that he's in Class 3B, the Monday Book Club, Tuesday Reading Group, and Year 3. Actually, we'll assume that there are some changes to be made, so we'll do them here. We know that Jason is not in the Monday Book Club anymore, so we'll delete him from that. Now we'll add him to the literacy group he's now in. So this shows you how to identify and adjust classes for individual students. The only other thing we'll show you in this screen is that you can also filter student names by class, just like this.